What's going on, guys? This is Jules, man. So I guess I was wrong. Since everybody's talking about Mahomes all the time, I just automatically assumed that nobody really had any kind of interest in Justin Herbert. But I made a little video and I had the highest view, which is a little over 300. That's a lot from me, but the comments were really interesting. Rookie contract, he can't leave. You know, you're obviously a Patriot fan and blah blah blah. All I was saying is this, guys. Justin Herbert is so good that he deserves coach like Belichick. I know it's impossible for him to go to New England or Belichick to come to Chargers. Actually, the second part is not impossible. It is possible, but whether it would happen is, that seems like a really far-fetched move. But my point still remains. Justin Herbert, I think to me, is probably going to be the closest to what the NFL fans are now saying is a generational talent. He's got this monster arm, and I really love the fact that he's a biology major with a 4.0, grade point average. He's a smart kid. The way he reads the field and the way he, attacks the field and the way he could, run outside the pocket and sometimes scramble, get first downs. His mobility is just good enough. But here's the best part about him. The reason why I like him above all those things is that he's got a very humble personality. He's naturally a introverted personality. Introverted personalities tend to learn quicker. They tend to observe more, and they tend to have kind of a stingy leadership or intrinsic leadership. And I think that's what's important about, what's good about Justin Herbert is that he has those kind of personality traits along with the kind of skills that he already has. Patrick Mahomes is not, to me, a generational talent. He's a circus show. When you compare Justin Herbert to Patrick Mahomes, yes, Patrick Mahomes peaked out really quickly, as if he was just trying to prove to the world he's something. But Justin Herbert's not doing that. He's taking his time. He's going to gradually get better and always get better. The way Patrick Mahomes approaches football, to me, is unbelievably arrogant. It's become very arrogant. Of course, you get, paid $500 million, in theory. I guess you get a little arrogant. I've never been in that position, so I don't know. But from what I've seen, people who get a lot of money, they tend to become a little bit arrogant. The Super Bowl was a perfect example. That team was completely out of order. Tyrann Mathieu was so out of order and uncontrollable. He basically threw the entire game. I mean, he was, in my opinion, he might as well not have played the fucking game because he was that damaging to the entire team. And yet he's one of the great fucking defense, team members in NFL, right? And so that goes to say a lot about the personality and how you approach the game. And I think your emotional certitude or your emotional intelligence also plays a huge role. And when we talk about emotional intelligence, I have to talk about Cam Newton. I was a huge fan of Panthers. I mean, this is obviously younger days. Just love the fact that he could do what he could do. He just made things so much easier for everybody. And then I started realizing years later, he's breaking the protocol. All the other players in the team, they're going out on routes, they're blocking for somebody, they're screening for somebody and everything. And he's running around trying to make some play for himself. And it became more apparent when he went to New England that Cam Newton is an emotional child. I've never seen a professional press conference done with Cam Newton. It's almost always like he thinks he's a movie star and everybody must watch him. And that kind of attention grabbing subconsciously, it doesn't work in the locker room. The guys in the locker room are thinking he's so full of himself. Of course, they're going to come out and say, he's a team leader, he's a great guy, and all this stuff or whatever. But as soon as he turns around, they're going to be like, you know what, that guy's clueless. And that's one of the reasons why Patriots perform so badly. And Bill Belichick knows this. He knows Cam is an emotional child. Maybe Bill Belichick thinks he could improve that. I'm not sure. In my opinion, you can't. When somebody is emotionally stunted like Cam Newton is, you can't help them. And so you have to say goodbye to them. And so that's what I'm hoping the Patriots will do. Their quarterback situation, even though we are 1 week away, from trades and everything, they haven't made any kind of announcement, and that's great. That's great. That's Bill's style. Let him do his thing. There's some speculations. I made a prediction that perhaps Deshaun Watson can go to Patriots, and I still stand by that ridiculous prediction because just wild things happens all the time in NFL. And if anything could happen, that would benefit both of those people in terms of what they seem to want is, Deshaun Watson and Bill Belichick together. I'm not trying to pair everyone with Bill Belichick. The reason why I like Bill Belichick is because if you're especially rookie coming into the league, he will discipline you. He will set you in the right course. That's what he did with, Brady, and because of that, Brady has that solid foundation. That's part of his also OT as well in terms of his leadership narrative. Is that, look, here's my OT. When you come into the team, this is the kind of attitude I need from you. This is the kind of approach I need from you. This is what I need you to understand as a priority. And I think those things are what makes Brady's leadership a special kind of brand. And another thing is that he also learned something from Bill Belichick in those 20 years. You can't possibly work with somebody for 20 years and not learn a thing or two. And I made a previous video that Brady may actually have an edge on Bill Belichick because he learned those things, came out on the field, and tried it out. And, he figured out what works and what doesn't, and he kept those things for himself. Whereas Bill Belichick never went on the field and never tried any of those things. It was all in theory. It was all, X's and O's. And so, that's my stance. Anyways, going back to Justin Herbert, guys, don't overreact to my comments. Look, I'm just like you guys. I'm just trying to make, little predictions here and trying to see the world through my own eyes and see, hey, that could be interesting. Of course, I already mentioned in my video, rookie contract, you can't break it. But my point still remains. Justin Herbert deserves Bill Belichick caliber kind of a coach because this kid is just that good. And in my opinion, he is way better, way, way better than Patrick Mahomes.